Hey guys, it's Georgia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If y'all are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. So for today's video and for the rest of the videos for this year, I'm going to be finishing up or fixing old projects, sort of trying to get through all of the current ideas I have before making too many more so I can just keep up with filming what I have thought about and what I have planned and the materials for. So today I'm just going to be fixing up a painting that I did a couple of years ago during COVID, just making it so it fits a little bit more of my style currently and so that it uses a couple more elements than it currently is. But yeah, I hope you guys like this and let's get started. So this is a little wood figure that I'm going to be repainting today. It's just a simple anchor. I had originally painted it during COVID to look like the anchor that is on the Rhode Island flag, since I'm from Rhode Island and I didn't have a different idea at the time. But I want to turn it into something that I will actually hang up and display, so I'm just going to be repainting it. To start this, I'm going to be using this blue, pink, and dark orangey, peachy color. I'm starting on the top. I am turning this into a little beach scene, so I'm going to be making a sunset, sunrise. I never did a sun or moon on this, so it can be whichever one you think is right, but I wanted to turn it into a gradient. So to start that process, I am just doing a pretty thick layer. I did 2 layers on each part of just the solid color to make sure I have a good foundation for the gradient. I didn't want any of that mustard orange or that dark blue to show through my new design. While the top sunset sunrise part's dry, I am just taking this light brown color that I have and painting the sand part at the bottom. Like I said, it's going to be a beach scene, so I figured I can paint both of those and leave the center blank while I wait for each layer to dry. I am going to be putting something over the sand, so I just needed the brown to be a nice deep coat so that the other colors did not show through. Once that was done, I did go through one more time with another coat of the 3 pastel colors up top, but this was not to add color to it. This was so I had wet paint to make the gradient with. So I pretty much just repainted all of those colors so that I had a nice thick barrier and wet paint so I can clearly change the paint design. And I'm just taking a sort of thin brush, brushing it back and forth in between the 2 colors, moving it up and down a little bit each time so I can get a nice gradient that doesn't look too cartoony, because I did not want the different colors to be super clear, but I want a section for each color. With that done, I am coming in and doing the ocean part of the ocean scene now. I've decided to use these 3 blues. They are all somewhat different shades of blue, but they did seem to work really well together. For those of you who haven't been to the beach, the water is clearer and a lighter color the closer to the sand you are, and then it gets darker as the water goes out to the deep sea. So I'm starting with that light teal on the bottom, going in with this sort of medium blue tealish, and I'm ending with a royal blue, navy blue, not sure exactly which one you would call it. I do think that that blue is the original blue I used on the outline of this, but now it's clearly going to be made for an ocean. Again, repeating the process on top, just making sure that I have all 3 nice thick layers. I could have done this a different way and just put white on the bottom, taken 1 color blue, and had it just a single gradient, but I thought having the different colors of blue was going to make it much brighter since I like bright colors. For this one, instead of repainting each stripe, I am just doing sort of the top of the bottom section and the bottom of the top section of the gradients. So with those, just going in and doing each of the 3 little sections to try and blend them out. This was a little bit difficult for this section at least, because up top all of my paints had a satin finish, but on the bottom the light blue and that medium blue had different types of finishes, so it was kind of hard to make sure that they looked cohesive. The top 2 did have the same, just a matte finish, I believe, so it wasn't that hard to get them to blend out properly. Now that I had that ocean scene almost done, I wanted to add a little bit of shine, because for anyone who's been to any sort of water, it looks like there is glitter on the water when it's still or when it's moving. And I wanted this to be sort of still so I didn't have to paint any white spots to make waves, just because it is such a small canvas. So I am just adding this blue glitter paint that I have, and that was a little bit dark on the bottom, so I am also going in with this more white glitter paint. This one was pretty chunky, but I was able to make it work since I just wanted it to cover on top and I didn't need it to be like a base. It was just for decoration, so I was able to get it spread as best as possible. While I wait for that to dry, I am going to be going through all of my little shells. Part of why I chose a beach scene, not just because it was the anchor, but because I have so many shells and I want to find different ways to incorporate it into my artwork other than just making jewelry out of it like I did in a previous video. If you want to watch that one, it is linked on my channel. It's called Making Seashell Jewelry. But I do have a lot more shells than I have a need for that many pairs of earrings. So I was just going through and picking out the ones that I know I want to turn into jewelry or use for different projects, and just sort of leaving all of the other ones in that I'm okay with gluing on the canvas so that I can have a nice 3D scene. I am just gluing these on with tacky glue, so I just sort of squeeze some out, spread it around with a paintbrush. I'm sure there is a much better and more official way to attach shells to something. I'm sure I could have used resin, but at the moment this was my best idea, and it is just going to sit on my wall, so it doesn't need to be super sturdy. Once I had the glue on there, I sort of was just taking the shells, putting them in a design that I thought was nice. I started at the bottom and just worked my way up. I put all of the holes, because these are all periwinkles, like mini conch shells type of shells, so I'm just putting the holes on the bottom so that the rounded part is up top. Making them fit was a little bit like a puzzle because I had to make sure I covered as much space as possible without them falling off, getting pushed around. So it was a lot of placing, readjusting, but I did get to a place where I was happy with how many were on there and how they were positioned. There was still a little bit of space in between all of the shells because it clearly isn't going to be perfect when they are natural shells being added to an unnatural shape. So I'm just taking some of that gold and white glitter and putting that on all of the glue just so I have something to sort of draw your attention there, fill in all the gaps. I could have grabbed sand from an actual beach to do this. However, the day that I was completing this project, it was raining and I really wanted to get it done while I had it. After that, I did just sort of tap off all of the glitter. I am using a little fan brush, paintbrush, to sort of dust away anything extra glitter. You never get all of it off, but I didn't want it to just continually be falling, so I got what I could. And with that, this is all set, and she is done. I really do like how this turned out. I think that the little bits of glitter mix with the natural elements really well. I am such a bright, glittery girl, and I like things to look very clean, so I don't have a lot of natural elements in my room, so I think this was a nice way to bring some of those into my current style and aesthetic for what other items I have around. And I like that I now have a new purpose for all of the shells that I've been collecting over the years. If you guys have any other ideas for shells that you want to see me try and do, please let me know. But I hope you guys did enjoy this. I know that it is a much quicker video than I've been normally doing, but I think it was very fun. And I hope you guys like it. If you want to see more from me and all my friends, all my social medias are linked down below to see more than the every 3 weeks I post on here, or see some different type of content. As well as my Etsy and Mercari if you want to buy something that has been in a video or maybe in a future video. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys like it. And if you did, please comment so that I know to make more videos like this, and subscribe if you want to see more regularly. But thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.